Hey Scorpios, this is Tarot by Tess coming to you for your April general reading, 2017. As you noticed probably, I've been out for a while on a break, so I'm back. And of course, since you guys are my favorite sign, I have to start with you guys. And I have another reason to start with you guys. I got a new deck, the Tarot Oracle deck. So it's really neat looking. I took out all the chakra cards because I'm not into that kind of hokey stuff. If you are, that's fine. But I'm not. I did a Celtic cross reading. Haven't done one in a while, so we'll see how it goes. And I just kind of noticed, yes, I have a ample bosom today. If anybody enjoys a shapely woman, it's a Scorpio. But I bought this really pretty dress. I don't know if you can see it. It's really pretty. But it happened to come in Chinese sizes, and I was kind of sad about that. It fits everywhere except for the bust. So I said, I'm working it anyway. So I just tied it down here, and all this is hanging out, I tried to cover it up a little bit, but I guess that didn't work very much. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm using my Rider-Waite as the primary, and then I'll use my new Psychic Tarot Oracle deck as my clarifications. Your overall was the Fool in reverse. So this tells me you may be feeling foolish about a recent decision, or you're just hesitant to make a decision. You're not taking that scary step. Could be just a lack of hope. And then again, I just see you're not overcoming a fear. And you realize that, apologize, that your choices affect your path. And it involves other people. It's not just you. So you're really trying to make the right decision, which you've been trying to make that decision for a while. But you just haven't made it yet because you realize it involves other people and it's really scary. But this card's ruled by the planet of surprises. Okay? So if you don't make a decision, the universe will throw you a surprise. Okay? Maybe you felt like at some point you went in the wrong direction, or you're just very disappointed. You're not taking people's advice. And even if you don't feel foolish, maybe you actually were foolish about something. It just depends on what your situation is. But you're thinking about returning to something from the past, okay? Because this tells me returning where you came from. And it could be origins, like going back to your family, moving back to where you once lived. But this could also just be getting back into knowing yourself, getting back to who you are. Maybe you went off somewhere on a journey and you kind of lost who you were. You were confident about it, but it was really just a foolish plan. You were a little bit naive, and now you feel foolish about it. Maybe you were trying to nurture your talent in something. But I think now you're ready to commit to something. Because here we have like non-committal, going on a journey, just traveling, being free. And then here we have willing to commit, okay? But you don't want the oppressive qualities of a commitment. All right, going into that, your situation is Three of Cups reversed. So you could have an addiction of sorts, because Fool reverse does talk about addictions, okay? So I could see drugs, alcohol, sex. So far we haven't pulled up your card, either death or King of Cups. King of Cups reversed, if we see that, that will mean depression or abuse of drugs or alcohol. Okay, so you could have some kind of an alcoholic addiction. You could have gotten out of a third party. Maybe you tried to do polyamory. Just depends on who you are. But then again, we also have just excess. Maybe you were really wasting your life on partying and pleasures and addictions, but you just really weren't getting the results you need or you needed. But this says, you're achieving something that's coming to an end, or something recently came to an end. And it's not depressing. It's just kind of like, that kind of sucks a little bit. Okay. So it's not a depressing kind of an end. And that lets you know that you weren't really invested in that to begin with, whatever it was. I think it was a relationship, possibly a marriage. Okay. And you're just kind of exhausted, and now you're aiming for balance. So what's crossing you? Four of Wands. So again, I think you got out of a marriage, because this could be in reverse as well. So it's just what crosses you, so it's sideways. This represents a marriage, a strong foundation, a community. And then if it's in reverse, just like Three of Cups reversed, this would tell me out of a marriage, out of a relationship, out of a third party perhaps. Okay. Now with Four of Wands, you want that stability, that good news, okay? And good news isn't going to be what crosses you, okay? I think it was you were used to living this, I can date around and be with whoever I want. And then somebody's like, commitment. But like the more permanent, obligatory kind. And that's not how you want to roll. You want to be, I'm not doing that. You want to be this full this way, but you felt like you were that way. Okay, so what's crossing you is somebody wanted a commitment, or you wanted a commitment, and it wasn't happening. But I do feel like this is somebody's asking this of you. And this could be something that's crossing you. This could be something that's going to happen like in the next 4 days or 4 months, okay? Maybe 4 weeks. And you're breaking free from some kind of an oppression. Maybe the foundation for your relationship with someone or for a job, it just wasn't quite ready yet, like wet cement, okay? And that's what's crossing you as far as what your present situation is. This could be something that's crossing you from the past, but it's still affecting your current situation. Maybe at some point in time there was a lot of stagnation and focusing on the negative and being vain, not very grateful for what you do for someone. And you're trying to get out of that. So you released it. Here I see like celebrations and freedom and gatherings. If they're both in reverse, which this one definitely is, then you may have gotten out of a marriage and then could have possibly met someone at a wedding. With all this marriage stuff going on, you may possibly work a wedding, maybe catering, music, some kind of recreational activity. Sorry, my boobs were just rubbing the desk. I was making this squeaky noise. Okay, that's that for now. What is the root cause of the situation? Strength. And that's not necessarily a problem, okay? This is also not only being strong and in control, but this is lust, okay? I'm really trying to fucking drink this grape Kool-Aid and the straw wasn't long enough. So the situation brought about is you've tamed something wild in you. So yeah, maybe you did get into some excess pleasures and dating around, sleeping around, sexual addictions, alcohol addictions. But maybe then somebody decided to ask more of you. Or maybe you decided to ask more of yourself. And you're trying to tame that wild beast. Okay. Because this is the major arcana in the spread aside from the Fool. But this is the one that actually came out in the spread. Okay, that one was the bottom of the deck. These are the only major arcana that you have in here, okay? Now when I see strength with the infinity symbol, Not only do I see an 8, but I see infinite possibilities. And later on, we have 8 of Pentacles. So I see using your strength and your courage and working really hard at something, and you'll have infinite possibilities. But 8s are talking about movements, rebirth, reevaluating. I think you reevaluated something and then you came to this decision, I no longer want to be addicted. I no longer want to be in something that's a little toxic or unhealthy. And I want more for myself. I want to break free from the oppression or addiction. And I want to ask more of a commitment from myself. And I want to give more of a commitment to others. But not in an oppressive way, just in a way that is healthy. Yeah, with the 8s, I see change of mind. So you did change your mind about something. You may have had to humble yourself a little bit from the situation, because you can see she's holding his mouth shut. And to me, this is just God giving you the grace to actually close the mouth and tame whatever is being base or wild within yourself. And just learning to integrate that. Yes, this is part of me. Accepting it, incorporating it into who you are in a healthy way, and then moving on. Maybe you were at the right place at the right time. You talked to somebody who gave you some strength, somebody you could depend on, and they helped you not to be so dependent on another person or some other substance. Now, we do have the 9 of Wands later on, and they're actually across from each other. So I see that you were using all of your inner resources to make this change of mind, this change of lifestyle, perhaps. And now you are in it for the long haul. Represented by this marriage, strength, and 9 of Wands, you're in it for the long haul. You may have had to let somebody go. And that was somebody whom you were attracted to. You had some passion for. You just had an affinity for them, and you had to let them go. And it could be that there was somebody else who had a stronger pull on you, and you had to go with that. Because usually when I see the strength and it's talking about an affinity, my advice is do not let that person go, because there is a reason why you have this affinity towards them. Whether it's a karmic lesson or they're a soulmate in disguise, perhaps. But if you did have to let somebody go that you were attracted to, it's because there was somebody to whom you were more attracted. And you may have had to fight your natural instincts, but you realized that you would be more stable, more confident. You would be able to respect yourself, and other people would respect you if you persevered and you gained your emotional independence. Because I do see you had to let someone go. Yeah. Sorry, guys. And it could have something to do with forgiveness, because I do see the need for forgiveness here. And then here, this woman who's very angelic in nature, it's almost as if she's closing his mouth and saying, no need to say sorry. I understand. And now you feel like you have nothing to lose, not as in a negative way, but a positive way. Like it's a win-win situation for you. You're magnetic. You have this grace, so you have an emotional calm about you now. You want loyalty. You want a healthy relationship without codependency. And maybe you've been kind of analyzing various therapies or solutions to problems with this person that you have not let go just yet. Or maybe because it's the root of the problem or the situation, maybe this is something you did and you realize you did have to let them go for your own sanity. And with the 4 of Wands right underneath it, again, you're looking for that strong commitment, that strong foundation, that strong union. Okay. And now you're able to step up to the plate. But trust me, it's not tame at all. There's a lot of passion going on in here. All right, your recent past, you had to release a burden. And it was as if you were in a one-sided relationship and somebody wasn't being very grateful for what you were doing for them. And so you released it. Now, for those of you who have not released them, it's multiplied exponentially, this unfair, heavy burden. As a teacher, when I see a bundle of 10, I think of a group of 10 as in math. Okay, so if these wands represented ones, then you would have a group of 10. So whatever you were dealing with, which should just be like a 1, okay, you could deal with one at a time, but they're bundled together. So then it's exponentially, or it's multiplied by 10, okay? So now you're having to carry 10 around. But if these wands represent something else, such as tens, we'll put 10 tens together, you have 100. Okay, so then it multiplied even more. But say these are hundreds, then it multiplied to 1,000. And so your burden just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was too heavy for you. Okay, and so some of you released it, and some of you it's still multiplying. This is in the recent past. And this has led to your situation where you had to get rid of somebody, or you had to get rid of an addiction or a lifestyle that didn't fit stability and commitment. But either way, there was a breaking free, okay? And if you haven't broken free, you will in the near future, because this is the very present. So I would say like 4 days, maybe 4 weeks. 4 months, maybe stretching it, but everybody's timeline is different. Okay, this next is what's crowning you. This is possible outcome, okay? And just so you know, at the top it's possible outcome, and then we have a card later that is your outcome. So depending on what roads you take or what decisions you make. But mainly I see this as a what's crowning you, the whole situation. It's the Two of Swords, okay? So Two of Swords, you're making a decision, but you've pretended it would go away. Being in denial about the truth. But then again, this is also talking about courage, the courage to be intimate. And with the Strength and Nine of Wands, I do see commitment and courage. But also just being afraid of what's lurking out there. And you have this barrier up across your heart. Nothing's getting in, nothing's going out. And there is some kind of underlying issue with a person as well as with yourself, possibly both, that needs to be addressed. And these are you two guys. You have your own opinions and beliefs represented by the Two Swords. And these are temporary beliefs or thoughts, okay? They're not stable. So people's opinions and beliefs can change. And so what's needed here is a truce with someone, which you've had this before. And you need to face this underlying issue and resolve it. Okay, that's what's crowning you. That's a possible outcome, is you have a truce. But then again, this card represents conformity. So you may decide to be blind to those negatives, and you may conform by marriage or a heavy commitment. But you need to do what's best for you, okay? Maybe you feel like it is a win-win situation, because here is a lose-lose situation. So I think the opposite is win-win. And we have that earlier. Was it the Strength card? Yeah, with Strength we had a win-win situation. But you may be refusing to see something. Maybe refusing to see the truth. You could think there is a hidden agenda, and I could see that with the Nine of Wands, like you're awaiting an enemy. You think someone may be wearing a false face, represented by like Ten of Wands, okay? Or somebody who was in your past, which is crowning the situation, they were wearing a false face and you couldn't really trust them. And here you want loyalty, you want truth, because this is disloyalty. And again, we have lots of loyalty and commitment. And the Scorpios that I've known, they want like full dedication because that's what they give. Now let's do some clarifications on what you're deciding between. By the way, the bottom of the clarification deck is Prosperity Begins, which is the Ace of Pentacles. And in a lot of these readings, talks about physical exercise, physical move, okay? So let's just pull that up real quick. All right, now, I've already shuffled and cut. So what are the two things you're deciding about, Scorpio? Standing your ground, Seven of Wands, yeah. I can see that with the Nine of Wands, too. Got a lot of wands on here, by the way. Ooh, a Major Arcana. Okay, let me think about that. Is that the Star card? Yep, it's number 17. It's the Star card. Okay. So, hope, the Star card. Being recognized. There's someone in them. Also, just being kind to humanity. Really working for other people. But you're not wanting to work for other people where it's unfair and nobody shares responsibilities. You want to help people, but you also want other people to help you, and you want them to help others. You don't want it to be one-sided. And so you're trying to decide, do I stand my ground? Am I going to be defensive about my beliefs, about something that I'm standing for? And then with the Hope card or the Star card, I see that this is also about beliefs and standing strong in them. Now, these cards are all meant to be read upright, so if I do find one in the reverse, I just concentrate on it more, okay? Now, thinking about the Star card, now that we have another Major Arcana in here, we have the Fool, the Star, and the Strength. Two are upright, which is really good, okay? And this Fool is mainly, I think it's talking about the beginning, like what happened from your past, because we did have, with the Ten of Wands and the Fool in reverse, we had stagnation and releasing of something, okay? And just not willing to move forward. That's in the past. And I do believe that most of you have released that burden. Now, with the Star card and the Ace of Pentacles, you could be having a new career. So you could be deciding between staying where you are, standing your ground, and moving on, recovering, healing, having a new career, even a new relationship perhaps. Somewhere where you have to defend yourself and somewhere where you are recognized as the Star. As far as relationships, you want somebody who doesn't make you defensive about what you believe and who you are, who's willing to give you that commitment because they are just gaga over you, crazy in love with this Star card here. With the Ace of Swords, which we have in the immediate future, it's in reverse. But because they're right on top of each other now, I see just having lots of optimism about the future. Okay? And maybe you don't think in the immediate future you will, but you're trying to decide if you should or not. Maybe one thing you're deciding between is with the Star and the Seven of Wands. You could be deciding between somebody who's like a motivational speaker or a teacher, or that's what you need. Somebody who's in your corner, who's motivating you every step of the way, you know. Just no attention to gender here, but, you know, behind every good man is a good woman, you know, pushing him. That could be what you're deciding between. But if somebody's pushing you and motivating you, you're going to become a star, if you're not already. And maybe you just can't see it just yet. But again, have that truce. Don't be so defensive, okay? You know, have some hope. There's reason to have hope and have faith, okay? So that Star card kind of threw me off. I wasn't expecting another Major Arcana. Again, 7 plus 1 is 8. So again, we have that 8 theme going on here. Before you get to 9, you have 8. So 8 of Wands is that movement, that passionate correspondence, communication. You have to have 8 before you get to 10. 4 plus 4, if you double it, talking about multiplication again, that's 8 as well. So again, there's progress going on with you with these 8s. It may be invisible though. And you want recognition. You want to obtain something. And again, I see revolution. just a cycle going on, achieving positive status. All right, well, I'm going to move on because I hear a lawn company outside mowing yards, and I just know they're on their way over here. So let me get busy. All right, so in your immediate future, we have Ace of Swords reversed. When I see Ace of Swords, especially when it's reversed, I see confusion, okay? Feeling like a failure or feeling like there's a defeat. But with the Star card, you have hope, okay? So if it feels like it, it's not really. It's going to lead you to more recognition where people see you as significant. And they also, you're also dealing with your beliefs, and you may be persuasive and persuade somebody over to your side. I also see just some stress, okay? But with that Star card and all these other hopeful cards, it's going to be fine. You're waiting to hear from somebody in the immediate future. We've talked about how you've had messages from others and how they may not reach out to you again. And it's your turn, so to speak. But you're waiting to hear from somebody, and you're very hopeful. You're trying to say, do I stand my ground? Do I move on, recover, heal, and have hope with something new? That could be something else some of you are deciding. Maybe your willpower's fading about this relationship or this job. You feel, for those of you who did not release that relationship that's one-sided, you're in the immediate future, your relationship is in danger. And you should move on and recover and not stand your ground. Again, somebody's unfaithful and you really want that loyalty. So in the immediate future, you may discover, because sometimes I see the Star card as the Sun card when we don't have it, as something coming to light. And it brings about new expectations. So somebody could have been unfaithful. I don't believe that's you. And it causes you to change some of your beliefs. And some of you may lose feelings for somebody that you did have in the immediate future, and then it makes your situation a lot easier for you. All right, let's go into the other section of this Celtic cross. We have Nine of Wands. This is representative of you. So you are somebody who never gives up. You never surrender. And that is definitely a Scorpio if I ever knew one. But again, you're also putting up these barriers because you're a little cautious about what's on the outside. You've been hurt before because you see his head injury. So remember, like once bitten, twice shy. That's you as far as the situation goes. And the only cards that represent the future in this are hopes and fears and the actual outcome. These others are current, okay? And this infidelity is still in the immediate future. So you could be worried about disloyalty, and that's you really want commitment, or you're considering of yourself. Maybe you feel like in the immediate future, you're going to fall off the bandwagon, okay? But remember, with the Star card, do that cycle again. There's hope. Keep recovering, because nobody does everything cold turkey 100% of the time, okay? And that could be any kind of addiction. So Nine of Wands is you. You're not giving up, and I love that. You're very tenacious. You're also gaining your confidence back. You're having this courage, this resilience. You're ready to fight. And you also have the intellectual high ground in this situation. Again, with all these infinite possibilities, you have boundless potential here. And you're close to reaching your goal. You're at 9, you're getting to 10. 10 is a big accomplishment. It may be a very big burden. So just be careful what you do wish for. But you're close to reaching that goal, that 10 of Wands, that complete bundle of passion and creativity. Now with the Ace of Pentacles, this also again talks about exercise. So maybe you're working on a new physical body as well as a new inner self, which will be represented by the Strength card. But then with Ace of Swords, you're able to persuade people, or you're able to be persuaded. You're not stubborn. Okay, this will be very, very stubborn. Well, I guess that they're both stubborn, but this is being stubborn and not really caring about what you're defending. Here, if you're stubborn, you're actually caring about what you're defending. You're trying to protect your beliefs, trying to protect a relationship, trying to protect yourself, because you have been hurt before. And here, since this is in reverse, it's possible maybe you can't be persuaded in the immediate future. Somebody's unfaithful, and you're like, no, that's it. I'm cutting you out. Okay, we have failed as this relationship. And so those of you who do not let go, you're probably going to let go in the near future. Those of you who have, maybe it's you who's needing to let go of what you've actually let go of, but inside you had not let go yet. But this is just hang in there. Things might not be as you envisioned, but they could be much better. Because remember, you might be awaiting something from the past, some kind of a betrayal, perhaps, but maybe that doesn't ever happen. It never comes to fruition. You're just expecting it. And whatever it is that you want to salvage, it is salvageable, okay, because it's upright. Be patient, because you know, Scorpio, you always get what you want. This is a card of getting what you want, just persevering. You're going to dispel all your doubts and fears. You're going to have that willpower. And even though you may have a lot of pressure with minimal support, you're going to keep at it. And I do see these hand in hand, only this one's more defensive. This one's more about persevering and protection. And with the Fool over here, this is being very, very fearful. This is having fears and phobias, but you need to dispel them. And how you're going to do that is these together say just relax about your fears. Relax. You know, there may not be anything lurking out there. Okay? And so that's you. You're going to be relaxed about your fears. You're not going to worry about them. And you're just going to take things as they come. Because you're very confident. And you know, well, things are going to go my way no matter what, because I get what I want. I'll just be patient and I'll persevere. With Page of Swords right next to it, I see you as a very clever person. Very strong person, especially with this Strength card over here. And Nine of Wands and Strength, seeing as how they're next to each other. This is you, and you're going through something that's very character building, something that's making you a stronger person. And it could be this letting go of something and starting a new cycle. And I am thinking a sexual addiction, just because there's so many wands in here. There's only one cup card, so I don't see alcohol so much, but it could be for a few people, represented just by one card. But then with the Three of Cups, I see infidelities, I see sleeping around, so that's possible. All right, let's move on from who you are to your environment. Eight of Pentacles. So again, we have this 8. You are working very, very hard at obtaining what you want. That's that hope, that expectation, because again, we have an 8 card next to each other. So you have very high expectations that if you work hard, it will pay off. And it will, especially with this 9 of Wands as who you are. Your environment is conducive to getting what you want. 8 of Pentacles is also the commitment card. I see engagement. So that may be the commitment you're looking for. You're looking to get engaged. Somebody wants to get married, but maybe you're just ready to be engaged right now. Like let's be engaged for a few years, maybe 4 years perhaps. Also with the Eight of Cups, I see this is either you, or you want a lover who will stay by your side. Perhaps you have left someone else for another lover who will stay by your side, who will be that motivating, that advocate for you. And you've made changes to increase your satisfaction. This is a green light for love, okay? Also a green light for work and education. But basically, we have two persevering cards right on top of each other. So your situation, you're going to have to persevere through it, but it's going to be good. And somebody, they weren't ready for you when you needed them most. Even though they wanted to be there, they just couldn't be. Or even if you wanted to be there for somebody when they needed you most and you couldn't be. And maybe you're working really hard to make up for that. We did have apologies, so that could be something. It looks like you're making changes for the better. And that's a very positive thing, Scorpio. I haven't seen that for you guys in a long time. One, the making changes and deciding something, and two, something really coming out for the better. And it's very visible that there's lots of hope. I'm trying to see if there's anything, because we have so many major arcanas now. Well, I don't see anything as of right now. That doesn't mean it won't pop up at some point. Just that's how things work with me. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. I think maybe this is saying in your environment, you're working to overcome other people's judgments of you. And you're still working on yourself, represented by the Strength, as well as the Eight of Pentacles. You're working to change your beliefs, and you're constantly working on yourself. Maybe you want to work hard before you get engaged. All right, coming to your hopes and fears. Some of you may be afraid of a stalker, because this is almost always to me a stalker. But there is like these belief systems, okay? Somebody's cutting through with they are right. The only other card that reminds me of being right and assuming you're right is the Hierophant, or perhaps a Court sword card. And we have this Ace of Swords in reverse too, okay? So that's being forceful with an idea. But here you seem to be more relaxed about those. You're willing to change your mind about things. You're willing to not take a stand and just be more hopeful and lead to yours and others' recovery and healing. You may be flirting and communicating with somebody through emails, just little innocuous little texts. But you're not revealing too much too soon, okay? That's your hope. If it hadn't happened yet, this could be happening. But as your fear, somebody's spying on you. It's not like an evil spying, okay? Because that would be in reverse. This is just somebody's looking at my Facebook. Somebody's looking at, maybe they're looking at my phone, okay? But somebody's watching, and that's what you're a little fearful of. It could be just an authority figure at a job. You're an apprentice and you're working really hard. You're not giving up. And then you're a little fearful of this boss watching you. But your hopes are that, you guys will have sharp minds, you'll have clear thoughts, everything will get resolved. Now with the Strength card, I see this as you have strong talent if you're in a job. You may be just extra flirty and extra charming, okay? Very magnetic. And you are unstoppable, okay? This is your hope. You know you're unstoppable, so you're hoping that's going to work in your favor. You may have a very strong belief about something. And Ace of Swords tells me very strong opinion. It may be the wrong opinion, okay? But when you combine Page and Strength and Ace of Swords, we have a very strong opinion about something. And it looks like you're trying to weigh that opinion too. Perhaps this is somebody else's opinion. Okay, that could be your fear. Somebody else's opinion. And see, you're always working on yourself. So you're really struggling to change your mind about things and integrate different shadow aspects of yourself and be aware of how others see you and how you see yourself. Not giving them power, but just having all the knowledge, okay? But the Ace of Swords also, not only does it say a strong opinion, but it also says, with Nine of Wands, that you can be persuaded of somebody else's strong opinion. And this is not a bad thing. I think it's actually a good thing because you are trying to integrate those aspects of yourself. And remember, with this card, the overall is prosperity's beginning. You're going to have that new start, that new job, that new love, whatever it might be. If you see, these fruits kind of look like peaches, but they also look like apples. So when I think of apples, I think of temptation, forbidden fruit, lust, knowledge of yourself. And with peaches, I definitely see something sexual going on. I hope you guys aren't laughing about that. That was serious. All right, let's move on to the outcome. It looks negative at first, but let's just give it a chance. Five of Swords. Okay. You know, we all know Five of Swords is conflict and defeat, tension, loss, being conquered, but it also says being conquered in a positive way, because this would be negative conquered. So perhaps somebody does persuade you of a very strong opinion, and you're persuaded of it. You worked really hard to integrate that. It may be about you. It just may be about a belief, and you're really integrating that. No, I'm no longer going to be polyamorous. I am going to commit to somebody. That's a very strong belief. That maybe you're convincing yourself of it, because this is a change of mind. And it could be a positive conquered. You've been conquered as far as what you previously believed. But some of you may not be very open to a change as far as possible reconciliation, apologies. You may not be very open to that. But this says you have to accept the defeat. Okay? You may not be willing right away. Could be maybe you were just too ambitious, because I do see some ambitious here. This talks about being too ambitious and hurting people. Okay? People are giving up. They don't really want to negotiate. Okay, that could be you. You don't want to negotiate with somebody. Yeah, maybe they changed your beliefs, but you don't really want to negotiate with them. You're probably done with them because it may just be a hard burden. I'm thinking about that with the Strength card. And that's, okay. It's Five of Swords. I don't know why I was thinking Five of Pentacles. Basically, somebody may have been too strong in their change of mind and could be alienating other people with our strong beliefs. Okay. And you're working hard, okay? So you may be taking in other people's opinions. Sorry, some really high wind outside. It's a little bit scary and creepy. But I've always seen winds as winds of change. So there's going to be a change coming up for people in my area. Alright, so let's clarify this Five of Swords as the outcome. What is this Five of Swords for Scorpio? Oh, okay, it's your destiny. Number 10, Major Arcana. Okay, what comes before Temperance? Let's see, number 10. I may have to look it up, you guys. I don't remember what number 10 is. Destiny. What? Alright. I'm going to look this up for a second because I just unaware. It's that new deck, so. Oh, okay. I think it's Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, okay, so there was a positive conquering, and now you're coming full circle. You're having success. Who says Lady Luck is pointing right at you? So whatever you've been sowing, whatever you've been working really hard for, whatever burden you've released, there is hope. There's a good, bright future. You're going to be very significant. You're going to get whatever it is you need. This says you have to open up your heart and accept and receive love. Okay? And I think you're going to integrate that into yourself. Maybe somebody had to defeat you, or it could be, as your possible outcome, somebody had to show you that at some point in your life this was you, this haughty person, okay? And you didn't really like it too much. But again, we have lots of opportunities, especially with the Ace of Pentacles and the Star card and even Four of Wands, okay? Yeah, you're just learning lessons, gaining perspective. Luck's on your side. But I do like to clarify the Wheel of Fortune when it comes up, because it shows me what you're dealing with. Okay, Three of Swords, heartache and loss. Okay, and again, that could have been infidelity, but it could just be a very long-standing pain. Okay. There's a heartache that you're dealing with that's come to a conclusion. You're like having that heart surgery, okay? You're getting into what's hurt you or someone else. You're getting into it and it's coming full circle. You're learning from it. All that heartache and loss. And it's, since we have 2 3s here, it could be that you're dealing with a third party. You're dealing with that betrayal, that injustice towards you in love. And since it's right next to the Star card, you are definitely getting healing. We have 2 healing, recovering, full cycle cards right side by side with the Three of Swords, heartache and loss. Good, Scorpio, good. Okay, what's the other thing on the other side? 5 of Swords, which, how on earth, we have Wheel of Fortune clarifying 5 of Swords. What's clarifying Wheel of Fortune? Well, 5 of Swords. So I do see this 5 of Swords, this defeat, this conflict as temporary, okay? Again, we have 5 plus 5 is 10. So we have 1 10, 2 10, 3 10, 3 10 cards. And then we have a 9 of Wands, which is close to 10. So we have some 10s. So that's hope of emotional renewal with somebody. And just look at that 5 of Swords, how it's changed from the original, Rider Waite. Let's look at that real quick. It looks so much more painful. Here, we mostly focus on the person being haughty, and then there's like 2 other people over there. But here, it's hard to tell whether or not he's smiling, like he's gotten away with something, or if he's just, he's so bent over. It's almost like he's escaping. But there is some light, okay? It's a positive conquering if it's upright. Sorry, my deck fell all to pieces because this new deck is very slippery. But I have it all in the right order, so don't worry about that. Let's get one more clarification for that 5, because I hate to pull up the same card for the same card. Okay, 6 of Pentacles. Material and spiritual prosperity. So again, I see this as apologies, especially when it's next to the 5 of Swords. I think in the outcome, you're getting an apology, or you're apologizing to somebody else for having been that Five of Swords person twice, perhaps. Maybe both of you were the Five of Swords people. You were both betraying each other, and perhaps there's an apology coming up. But I do see this as being generous with somebody, charity. And I'm trying to think about the Star card. This could be as far as like a work career related thing, which I don't see this very much. But if it is, it could be about being in the film or performing industry. Okay, and just being very optimistic about being in the limelight. But mainly I see this as being, somebody's going to be very generous to you. They may accept your apology, or you're going to be very generous with somebody else and accept their apology, or you're both going to be generous with yourselves and give apologies or accept when you normally would not. Okay. So Scorpio, let's get some advice for you. What's advice for Scorpios to achieve this happy outcome? Two of Swords. So again, we have that mental conflict. Okay, so you do have to make a decision. This says, have a truce, address the underlying issue. Okay? But anytime I pull Two of Swords, I want to pull two more cards because that's what you're deciding between. But this is the truce card, in my opinion. Okay. The Empress as advice. And dang, shadow. So fertility and shadow. Okay, what's 18 in the major arcana? I don't usually remember the numbers all the time, so. The Moon card. Yes, because we have Sun and the Moon. Okay, so we have two major arcanas as advice of what the Two of Swords is about, that truce. Okay, so one of you is the Empress. Again, we have a 3 going on here. And then we have 9 again. Okay, and 9 is 3 is a multiple of 9. So 3s are really going on around here too. You notice how somebody's integrating their shadow self. Like it's coming to light. Something's being born of this. And it's integrating into itself. All these truths are coming to light. And there's healing going on from disillusionment. Again, with Ace of Swords, we have like a new start with the Moon. Victory after cutting through some kind of a conspiracy. And then with the Three of Swords and the Moon, you're getting over a painful relationship. With Five of Swords, it could be harassment. Again, some of you may have a stalker, so some of you may be getting past the harassment of a stalker. And some of you just may be getting over harassment of some sort. Immediately what pops to mind is sexual harassment. But then again, with Five of Swords and the Moon, I see secrecy, deception behind the scenes, and watching your back. Okay, so your advice is to watch your back, but have a truce. But still, look out for yourself, because, you could have a spy with the Moon, or you could be spying on somebody else. But that Star card is, it's going to give you valuable insight with the Moon. Okay. Yeah, with this Empress and the Strength card, I see trying to dominate. Possibly trying to dominate to protect someone. But with... Okay. Especially with 9 of Wands here. This is breaking free from illusionment, seeing the truth, and just having this new start, this victory, cutting through things that aren't true, especially like harassment, defeat, and painful relationships. And then we have trying to weigh in your mind if you're being taken advantage of or if you want to take advantage of somebody else. But with the Strength card and the Moon, there's a very important story going on here. Because it does have an 8 in here. We have 8s. There's a very important story that you're needing to pay attention to. It could be somebody's story about something that happened with you and this other person. And again, you're having to integrate this belief about yourself that somebody else has. And you're having to take that into yourself, your psyche, and work it out. You're afraid of being taken advantage of with some illusions. But you're also trying to make sure that you aren't taking advantage of other people. That's what you're trying to make sure of. You don't want to end up doing that to somebody again if it's happened before. All right, but overall, okay, you may have had some foolish decisions and you were very scared to take the step that you needed to take. But it looks like you're working on it very, very, very diligently. And you're getting that new start. Okay, very prosperous new beginning. All right, Scorpio, that's your reading. Sorry I talked forever. I did have a Bible passage that I do. I don't know if I've done one for you guys before or not, but I do it once in a while when it works out. What I do is I open the book to a random page, throw a stone, and it lands. And then I just underlined where it was. So it's Hosea 12, 6, and a little bit of 7. No, a little bit of 6 and 7. So it says, observe mercy and justice, and wait on your God continually. A cunning Canaanite, deceitful scales are in his hand. He loves to oppress. So we have a lot in your cards about leaving oppression, trying not to be disillusioned, trying not to be taken advantage of and not taking advantage of others, and trying to work through some past heartache, possibly infidelity. But with the Strength card, okay, you are, like, this is let go, let God. So is the Fool. Okay, maybe in the past you weren't letting go and letting God, and you had all these addictions and unhealthy relationship. And now you are changing your mind. You're letting go, letting God, taking into yourself things that you've learned and other people's opinions that matter to you. You're going to have a new beginning. All right, Scorpios. I hope you have a good April. Let me know how it resonated for you in the comments. And negative comments that aren't healthy or for growth will be the cause of being blocked, okay? All right, be happy.